Up everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History channel. Tonight's video is going to be about the Parramatta Eels and their 2001 season. Now, some of you might know about the Parramatta Eels in 2001 and just how dominant they were, but I'm going to do a video about it tonight. I'm going to go through some stats, and this video is just for fans in general. It can be for Parramatta fans, it can be for new fans to Rugby League, it could be for someone that doesn't really know too much about Rugby League history, and I'm going to bring that video to you shortly. But before I do that, I've reached 350 subscribers, as I said the other night. Now I'm looking to get to 400 subscribers by the end of the year. So thank you to everyone that's subscribed to my channel and supported me from the start, and welcome to everyone that's just joined my channel over the last month or so, or last couple of weeks. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, getting back to this video about the Parramatta Eels in 2001. Now, they finished first that year, minor premiers, 26 games they played that year. They had 20 wins, 4 losses and 2 draws. They had a points differential of plus 433. Now, if you compare that to some other clubs, like if you compare that to the Scum, as I call them, they won the Premiership this year and they had a plus differential of 258. So Parramatta in 2001 almost doubled that. 6 times in 2001 Parramatta scored more than 50 points in a game, and twice they scored more than 60 points in a game. One of those was against West Tigers, where they won 66 points to 12, and the other one was against North Queensland, 62 points to 0 at Parramatta Stadium. Sorry to Nick from Australia for that one. Now, from round 6 to round 17, they won 11 games, and I think they had about 1 or 2 draws in between that. Then they were beaten by the New Zealand Warriors, and then after that they went 10 games unbeaten to reach the grand final in 2001. So that's quite an achievement right there. And also some other wins that they had along the way throughout the year. They beat Penrith 40 points to 4 in round 1 of the competition, and they also beat Melbourne 42 points to 18. The top point scorer for the year was Jason Taylor. He was also the NRL's top point scorer that year with 265. Now, the top try scorer for the club was Brett Hodgson with 17. But if you look at some of the other players, it's like they were queued up to score tries that year, because you had Jason Moody, he scored 15 tries. You had Jamie Lyon, he scored 15 tries. You had Luke Bate, he scored 13 tries. There was a couple of other players, but there's one, Daniel Wagon, who was a second rower lock. Sometimes he filled in at 5'8". He got 11 tries for the year. Now, when they reached that first week of the finals, because back then it was the McIntyre system, so they played against New Zealand, who had beaten them earlier in the year, and they beat New Zealand 56 points to 12 in week 1 of the finals at Parramatta Stadium, which at that time was a record. It was the biggest ever score in a finals match. Now, they faced against Newcastle in the grand final itself. Earlier in the year, round 17, they beat Newcastle 40 points to 0 at Parramatta Stadium. Now, as we all know, in that grand final, they received their worst game of the year to last. They had one bad half of football, and that was pretty much their season over. And unfortunately, that's just the way that Rugby League goes. That's just how sport goes in general. We saw that this year with Penrith. They played one bad half of Rugby League in the grand final, and that's what undone all that hard work that they'd strived for towards for the whole season. Now, Parramatta broke a lot of records that year. Some of them have never been broken since. So they hold the record for the most points in a season. That's from 1908 to 2020. 984 points they scored. Now, they also hold the record for the most tries in a season ever. 159 tries. That still hasn't been broken. And they also hold the record for most goals in a season as well, with 153. Now, unfortunately for Parramatta and for fans of the club, this season was sort of a flash in the pan, you could say. After the grand final defeat, a few players left the club, most notably Jason Taylor. He retired, and I think just the way that Parramatta lost that grand final and the circumstances and what they'd done throughout the year. It kind of tore the heart and soul out of the club, because it took about 3 or 4 years to get over that grand final loss. They made the final series in 2002, but they went out in the first week against Brisbane. And it wasn't until 2005 that the club sort of regained some sort of self-belief, I suppose, when it comes to how they were playing, because that 2001 season and how it ended, it just that was really disappointing. And another thing I should point out is that 2001 grand final. Now, if you're a betting person, Parramatta were the shortest priced favourites in history. Well, at the time, they were the shortest priced favourites in history. So you could put £1 million on Parramatta to win that game, and you get £1 million back. There was just no value in actually betting on Parramatta that night. Everyone thought that they were going to beat Newcastle, but Newcastle come out, and some of their players played probably the best 40 minutes of rugby league that they'll ever play in their life. It was just a flawless display, and that's what it took to beat Parramatta. So anyways, that's me video tonight about Parramatta Eels in 2001, the most dominant team in modern rugby league history not to win a premiership. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click that like button, and if you have not yet subscribed and you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed and trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of the year. Anyways, everyone, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch us all later. Tatty bye.